Just something there, people focus on the vulture banks. I said it here the last time, Bank of Ireland are the biggest vulture of all the banks. So here we are. Like we're 5 weeks into the standing Killeshin that hasn't been highlighted by RTE or any of the mainstream media. Hunt put a tiny bit in the Independent, which we appreciate, but like if you look at the video on Killeshin, we've really put to the chase of what's important here. I personally am after the judiciary because they're protecting the bankers and the TVs, etc. are covering the bankers, and the only ones that are kind of against the bankers are those in the community who are trying to stand up and unite the community to say all this with evictions is wrong. Now we're saying back to 1851, and the burden of proof is now on the government and the courts to prove it. We're saying that every eviction since 1851 is illegal. You'll see it clearly on the video in Killeshin. CL346, the guard there, he said, I saw the warrant 2 days ago. We've asked for 13 pieces of paper and 32 questions to be asked from that day. It was 5 weeks yesterday. There's no sign of that warrant that guard said that he saw 2 days before. And I will be shocked if I see any warrant for them or any of the paperwork that's relevant all the way back as far as 1851. So, like, they need to prove now at this stage that they have the paperwork to come to any house, any eviction. So what we're saying is that, like, it is hard to be standing outside the person's home or with a person for 5 weeks. There's another stand that's 2.5 weeks old in this stall, and we started in Command as well this week. But the same thing, all we're asking them for is pieces of paper to prove that they have any right or entitlement to come to anyone's family home and that they're not the trespassers. We'll share that information with everyone here, and if you know anyone in trouble, in with those. What Tom said is very, very important. Start there for those who are just coming into the fray, we'd say. Those who are going to the court, as Brian or anyone else would tell you, you put in an unbelievable affidavit. Rateable value was in their affidavits for 2 years before it ever came to any bit of light last May, and then they go and they mess around that. So, like, the bottom line is that if the judiciary, who are extremely corrupt, are going to walk all over you and give a possession order, for me, I'm not going to go to court and I'm going to have to try and prove my point that way. I have no fear of the system. I have no fear of the Act, statutes, and court rules which I've learned. But we're the ones that are abiding by the Acts, the statutes, and their rules, and they're just walking all over us. So it's going to come to a point where it's going to be community, it's going to stop what's going on. Yeah. That is simply where we have to go. Stand up and tell the truth in your own community. Hand out the leaflets, speak about the truth outside the court, inside the court especially. You know, stand up there and show people in the court, there is no fear here. You're asking what are their rules. They made them up to protect the banks and put in the corrupt judiciary there to protect that. And all we're doing is going into them courts and asking those questions which they can't answer. So there's reasons for all this, like. But just spread word throughout your community, help those in your neighbourhood, and that's how we will change the whole setup that is going on in Ireland.